over to YouTube and tickle one's talk. G'day. All right, so let's talk and let's say hello. Firstly, there is a link in the description to my first International Mathematics Journal publication. It's quite exciting. It's co-authored with my PhD supervisor. And the average time for something to get published is 255 days in this journal, if they accept it. Ours was done in 120 days. So I'm grateful to my professor or my supervisor for doing such an amazing job with teaching me a lot of the maths and allowing me to contribute such a huge amount to the paper. I'm honored that he had so much faith in my skill set, and it's great to be learning and to hang out with other like-minded mathematicians on my road to this. So you can click on the link if you want, and you can read about it. Slowly but surely, I will teach some of the basic maths that can lead up to this type of mathematics, and then hopefully explain it. But there's more papers coming out, so I'll slowly teach people those type of maths. It's mathematics that helps describe advanced materials that aren't yet really readily available to the public, but you can see them if you look up electrorheological fluids. You will see types of fluids that can turn from liquid to solid with zap of electricity. So that's what we're doing. That's the first thing. Second thing is I want to say a big thank you to all my beloved Patreons and those who contribute directly. People like Alias and Boss Briggs and our new person, Mr. FK, and of course many others, J and W, etc., whose names I won't say. And I'd love to send a big shout out to my beloved Platinum Mimi. She's disappeared. So I'm thinking that maybe something's happened to her health-wise. She's been a fan for 10 years, but she was already, I think, close to 80 10 years ago. She was a strong, amazing, beautiful woman. So there you go. Anyway, we've moved past all of that. Let's talk about our second thing, which is the racism fantasy. Now, I get to see things from the inside sometimes, and that is that for those of you who are born and raised in Australia, who have an encounter with someone nasty who was clearly of some sort of subculture that is not of your particular culture, it's very natural to then say, look at those effing blah, blah, blah. Now, in my particular case, what happened today was somebody approached me and in the gym, and they said to me, oh, in their very, even though they were born here, they speak Australian in a way that is clearly designed to be extremely different from mainstream dialects. And it can appear to, hello, Mark Anthony, it can appear to many people as uneducated or deliberately stupid. Some people might see it that way. G'day, Mario. Now, what happened was, hello, everybody. So what happened was that he said to me, oh, look, when are you getting off this machine? And I said, look, I'm going to be about 20 minutes. Now, he doesn't know that I speak Arabic. So this is now a second time this has happened. I've told you about the barber a long time ago who was swearing at me in Arabic, thinking he's all tough and doesn't realize I understand. Can you please say hello, Mattia? Hello, Mattia. Ciao, Mattia. Come va? Spero che tu va bene. And anyway, so they decided to, thank you, try and laugh about me in Arabic. And they were doing it in a way that I understand is natural for that particular subculture. This is not a Middle Eastern culture. These are people born in Australia with Middle Eastern parents, but how they're behaving is something that is not typically Middle Eastern. I've lived in the Middle East for a long time in multiple countries, and people are in general quite educated, quite polite, quite respectful. It's not like what you get in this particular subculture. So they started making fun and I just laughed in my head. Now, the point of this story is that if I were not an Arabic speaker and not someone who knows that many people from the Middle East and Australia blend into the society like I do, and you would never know, they would just be Australian or American or English. You would think, oh, look at those people, I hate the Middle Easterners, blah, 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 blah. The point is that because you're closed off to the world in which there is a substantial amount of people who have integrated successfully, you don't see them. So you only count the people, hello, Jorge Fernando. So you don't count those people. So if there were 3 people who looked aggressive and had beards, and you stereotyped them as something, and I was standing next to them, you would say, look at those 3 Middle Easterners, instead of saying, look at those 4 Middle Easterners, and one of them's pretty cool, and the others are aggressive and not behaving in a way that I would like. So that's my point. Now you can reverse that and abstract it and say, well, if that's what's happening in my own particular subculture, maybe that's happening everywhere else. So if you come across someone who is whatever it is, female, black, gay, whatever the identity you want to ascribe, and you say, oh, they're like this, what you're not seeing are everyone else of that culture who's not like this. This is the part that's really important. And it happened to me even when I went to China, and I noticed that almost every single person driving on the road in China was driving fine. So when people say in Australia, oh, people of Southeast Asian descent can't drive or something, what they're ignoring is everyone who can drive, because they're not paying attention to those people. They're only counting the negative. So you have a negative confirmation bias. And you can also look at it with politics. Oh, look at those liberals, look at those Labours, look at those this, that, that. So you're deliberately only counting the ones who fit the specific stereotype you've ascribed. So it's just a constant reminder. And how do you beat that? Well, for example, in my case, I'm very lucky where there is a lot of Australian Middle Eastern TV shows that my father watches. And on those shows, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that come on who are in Australia. They talk about success stories in Australia, who are doctors, who are lawyers, who are psychologists, psychiatrists, who are head of massive companies, corporations. And you would never know. And so you therefore don't add them to the stereotype. So I'm very lucky to say, oh yeah, actually most people are not, these stupid, aggressive morons who are looking to try and cause fights with people or make fun of people in Arabic, etc. And so the same applies everywhere else. So I thought that was something nice I thought I'd share with you guys. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is at the gym, there's this guy, and he looks at me like I'm normal. Now, this is unusual because in real life, for some reason, I come across as quite quirky or weird to most people. I don't mean to be, it just comes across that way. And this guy was one of the few who looked at me like I was just like a normal person. So I thought, that's interesting. When I meet someone like that, it is unusual and they stand out to me. Then he started to say things like, oh yeah, it's a bit noisy in here. And then he really liked my earplugs, because I should show you. These are what I use in public. Right? Now, I think that's normal, but apparently some people might find that goofy, but I don't like noise very much. So I use those to be able to function in public. And he loved them. And then I also noticed, he doesn't make eye contact with anybody. And I noticed that he's quite pays attention to specific details that I would pay attention to. And then when he went to grab my earplugs, he rubbed them on his shorts. So it was too many things that added up. And then I realized that, he is a fellow brother with autism. That is amazing. And then immediately I like the guy even more. So he is a Kiwi autist. So we're related, even though we're not. Looks nothing like me, looks much more like The Rock, but still a brother in autism. It was fun. So there you go. That's all I have to say to you all today. I'm just waiting on my awesome, beautiful girlfriend to come back from the shops. Hopefully she comes back from the shops. Anyway, so that's our recap, ladies and gentlemen. We got the mathematics, we got the racism fantasy, and we've got the fellow autist. So until next time, don't forget to take life, remember, one smack at a time.